And we are live. Welcome to our new show. It's called, what are we calling it? Sunday School Carnivore? Carnivore Sunday School? Going to try
Sunday
something
School
new.
Carnivore, I think, isn't it,
Yeah,
John?
going to try something a little different here. And I have my friend over the pond there, George Goodenough, and a new friend that I get to meet today, Steph. Welcome. And today we're gonna talk everything carnivore. We're gonna talk about meetups and community and why that's vital. I wrote about that in my book that I published. Community, it's so important. And we can talk. Let this go in any direction. Just talk about our stories, how carnivore has healed us in so many different ways, because people need to hear this message. When I heard the message and I listened and started, I grabbed onto it and my life has changed dramatically. And I know yours has too. So that's great. So let's just go around and introduce ourselves. We'll start with you, George.
Okay, my name's George Goodenough. I live in Bridgewater in Somerset in the UK, the southwest of England. I'm 59 years of age. I was a soldier in the army for the most of my 20s, and I've done various jobs since then. Really, my health started deteriorating quite badly when I was in my 40s, and then again in my 50s, until I became morbidly obese with type 2 diabetes, which was diagnosed on the 1st of March 2022. I then did a bit of research and discovered low carb keto, and eventually went carnivore. And here I am, many years on, and no longer morbidly obese. And in fact, I no longer have type 2 diabetes either. So basically, it's been a great story of success for me, and I'm very proud of it. And I'm very glad to be here tonight with you guys.
Great. Thanks. Steph.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie Taylor, and I'm similar age. I'm 53, and I really dived into health, which I've been looking at for a long time, when I was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer in January 2024. And thankfully, that brought me to the carnivore diet. And thanks to that way of eating and primal living and getting into that world, I've been able to feel the healthiest I have in decades. Eating this way even after that diagnosis. So I've become evangelical like George about spreading the word and sharing the message of what we call happy, sexy health. And that's the name of my channel on YouTube.
I love that. Happy, sexy health.
Yeah,
I don't.
T-shirts.
There you go. Like my shirt. I don't know of any carnivore channel with the word sexy in it. So you're definitely grabbing attention with that one. I'm the carnivore teacher. I'm on YouTube as this name. And I started because I wanted to lose weight like a lot of people. And I didn't go carnivore. I went keto. Lost a ton of weight. Then I got a kidney stone because I was still eating plants and had a lot of oxalates. So then I eliminated most of those and went ketovore. And, I learned about the anti-nutrients in plants. And the more I watched and binge watched a lot of carnivore videos on YouTube, I realized, what do I need to eat these plants for? Yes, they're low carb. Yes, they don't have seed oils, but they have a lot of things that my body doesn't like, and everybody's body's different. And so I became a carnivore about 2.5 years ago, and it took me to another level of health that I did not experience with the first two. And so I changed my handle to this, and I've been talking about it ever since. Like you, I can't shut up because lower back pain disappeared, which was inappropriate inflammation from standard American diet and seed oils. I have atrial fibrillation, AFib. It's in permanent remission. No medicine. Amazing. And so many other things. This is just an introduction, but I've done this a lot. I've talked about all the amazing benefits, emotional health, mental health, so many great improvements. So this is why I am a carnivore as well.
Absolutely, John. That's a great story. It really is. Really, I am evangelical, as Steph said, and Steph and myself actually, we're very proud to be here on the school because both of us are actually going to become, we're training as keto and carnivore coaches with Dr. Kiltz. We have literally just started the course now. We've received the first bit of preparation homework from Alia, The course officially starts on July the 1st, and we're very much looking forward to it. I will be copying Steph's homework, and I promise not to pull her pigtails in class. So yeah, it's this is quite an important development in both of our lives, really. I would have no idea, had you asked me 3 weeks ago, this was going to happen. It was very much an impulsive move on my part. I heard Alia announce it on the 6 a.m. meetings with Dr. Kilt. And I think by the end of that day, Steph, if I remember rightly, we were both enrolled on the course, weren't we? Because as soon as I told you about it, you actually went and enrolled, and yeah, we were both enrolled. So that's
and my sister,
a great story.
Who does it with me?
Oh, sorry, Nikki as well. Yes,
she's enrolled as well, and we're both very excited about it.
That is fantastic. That is really great. So can you tell us a little bit about the course? You start July 1st, I think you said, and is it's an online course, I assume? And
that's correct.
Like what's involved in the investment of time, and did you get a syllabus? Like what's the time frame, and what are you doing with the course?
You fire away, George, because I think you
okay,
know.
Right. Yeah, the actual course syllabus hasn't come out yet. We received an email yesterday from Alia saying that she's going to try and get it to us early before July the 1st because she would like some feedback on the actual syllabus. However, one thing we do both have to do, and I think Steph might have got a bit of a head start on it here, is because we have to book in to be a guest with Dr. Kilt on his show at the 6 a.m. Now, I actually met Steph through that because she did it 2 months ago. And it was then that I think I reached out to her via our mutual friend, Lauren Tucker. Then Steph and myself became friends. And here we both are tonight. However, I am booked in on the 6 a.m. with Dr. Kilt on Friday, the 1st of August. So I shall be giving my story there. Good. And basically chatting with Dr. Kilt. However, Alia has told us that we have to learn how to do interviews ourselves, podcasts. So this follow-up interview with Dr. Kilt will be when we are hosting it, when we are actually inviting him onto our channel. And I've chosen a date which is as far away in the future as possible because I'm really not very good at tennis stuff at the moment. So yeah, I believe it's going to be 4:15 p.m. Eastern time on September the 24th. So yeah, those are the two things that we've had to do in preparation. A bit nervous about it, obviously, but it's quite obviously. Dr. Kilt is a lovely guy, but I've never actually spoken to him personally. Steph has, so she does have an advantage on me. But yeah, that's the information we have so far. We understand that the course will last 13 weeks. It's a modular course, and Dr. Nelson will be the main instructor on it. Dr. Nelson Vasquez. Mm-hmm. For those of you who've actually watched the Dr. Kilt's team, it basically consists of Dr. Kilt, Dr. Vasquez, Nelson Vasquez, Dr. Nelson, and Alia Wells herself. So yeah, that's as much as I actually know about it at the moment, John. So Steph, have you got any further insights into it?
No, but I was excited to do this. I already have a YouTube channel at Happy Sexy Health, and now we will do a podcast. The same. This has sort of given me that little kick up the bum to get the podcast online. I already interviewed George. I'd love to interview you, John, for my YouTube channel. But if anybody's watching, especially if there's any Brits watching from the UK, I'd love to interview you on the YouTube. Just get in touch. But I'm looking forward to the course. I don't have any further details about what it entails. So back over to you, John.
Oh, great. This is fantastic. I'd be honored to be interviewed by you. And I dove into the deep end with interviewing and coming onto shows. First, I went on to other people's shows, like Larry, the Carnivore Soldier, and Nia Nova, a few others. So I was the guest, and like you're the guest today. It's easy. You relax, you answer questions, and you're not in charge, so it's relaxed. But when you're in charge, the little stress level is a little higher because you're responsible for starting, stopping, introducing, kind of leading the questions, and that's a different feeling. And I would be more than happy to share some of my insights. I used to do a live every Wednesday night for 6 months. And I've done, this is live now. So I use the software. I'm used to, I have my setup. I find it comforting as the person who's in charge, the administrator, to have an outline in front of you so that if things get off topic or there's silence, nobody's speaking, you have your outline and you can go to the next topic. As a teacher, I kind of, I felt comfortable doing that. So yeah, and then you just have to just do it, and you'll make mistakes. Mistakes will happen,
sure.
Technical mistakes and things will happen, and everybody's forgiving, and you forgive yourself, and that's how you learn and grow. I made a lot of mistakes with this platform that I know what not to do. So just go into it. It's a great thing to do. And we're going to be, and remember, the whole reason we're all doing this is so that we can reach people.
Exactly.
And
that's the big thing. Yeah.
And I do believe that the student finds the teacher. So we have to put ourselves out there. The people who are looking will find us. That's why I take the evangelical part out of it, even though I've got to share this information. It doesn't work when you push it on people. But just being present and being healthy and letting it shine through your body, and they will find us. We just have to put ourselves out there, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah, can I just jump in with a bit of history here, actually, John, because this is the first edition of Sunday School Carnivore, but hopefully it will be a weekly event now. It was actually born probably back in the days when Larry, Carnivore Soldier, was doing the Wednesday night hump day meetup. Mm-hmm. That was the Wednesday night slot, and he had it for a year or so, but then he went on holiday. And you jumped in with the Wednesday night school. And then we discovered that Larry wasn't actually coming back. So you very kindly actually took over the Wednesday night slot pretty much permanently. And then obviously you went off with a different emphasis to do interviews, one of which was mine that we did back along. Mm-hmm. And then you were going to interview me, just give me another interview. But we had a really sort of good brainstorming session last Sunday. And you said, well, let's do a panel show. And yeah, we decided to do a panel show, and suddenly this developed into Sunday School Carnivore, which is going to become a weekly show. So really, this is how it all evolved. It was basically I was a great friend of Larry's, and I was very proud when you became friends with Larry's as well, because I believe you actually met at Hack Your Health last year. Mm-hmm. Because Larry kindly sent me the photograph of you and he. So we kind of picked up the baton, I suppose, really from Larry. So Larry, I don't know if you're watching, but hello, mate. And it's we're carrying on your good work. So yeah, a little bit of history there as to how this all came about.
Yep. Steph, anything you want to share?
Yeah, very cool. It's great seeing the comments and the messages coming up in the comments, and Primal Lifestyle. Put your name down, Primal Lifestyle, in case I already know you.
All right, so
we know who Primal Lifestyle is. That's Carl Day, Steph.
So one of the things.
George.
Okay, one of the things I can do, I just showed this on the screen. As the administrator, I can click that comment and put it up there if it's a question or whatever. I completed the Nutrition Network course, which was excellent info, the Carmel. So, and then we can discuss it. So when you become the administrator of these, you have control over doing. It's kind of cool. And
Anthony says, I didn't know most illness could be cured with the food, and that is amazing. Well, that is such the point, isn't it? Because that's the incredible thing about Carnivore, where people don't believe it and think we're a cult, because people come on. On No Carb Life with Dave Mack, hundreds. I wonder if he might have even
thousands
now of people all telling stories. Some have improved their skin, some have improved their heart disease, some have improved their kidney disease, some their eyesight, some their hearing. There's no part of the body that remains untouched on these interviews, and it's almost as though this is the proper human diet, and whatever you are ailing in, as soon as you transition, you start to see the benefits.
Absolutely.
It's very true, because not only have I lost a lot of kilos or pounds, I actually started my journey at 293 pounds, and I'm about 170 pounds now. And I've cured type 2 diabetes, but skin conditions have gone, migraines have gone. I used to get terrible boils. it's all gone basically. The pain in my legs and my knees. I'm walking again now. I'm actually doing filming, walking up hills with my carnivore friend here in the UK. So the additional benefits, it's not just about weight loss. I was watching the Great Four Doctors this morning, and Anthony Chaffee said it's not a weight loss program. It's a health gain program. And he actually said weight loss is a sign of that health gain. Carnivore is not initially about weight loss, it's about gaining health. And when you lose the inflammation and when the body becomes fat adapted, then you also lose the weight. I had a 44-inch waist when I started this journey. I'm now in 32 inches again. I'm actually weighing the same as I did when I was 17 years of age. And I'm now 59 years of age. It kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it, really?
It does.
So, yeah.
Does. It shines itself. We have another question here from the Primal Lifestyle. If you have a question, folks, type QQQ and type your question, and we'll try to get to it. Posted on the screen. It says, this week will be my 2 years on carnivore. My feet shrinking was the biggest surprise for me. What has been your biggest surprise on this lifestyle?
You go ahead, George.
Yeah, George.
I was hoping somebody else would to begin with, because actually Carl and myself are very, very good friends. And I can tell you that, yeah, I've shrunk from a UK size 13 back to a size 11. I think Carl was 14 back to a size 12. I think probably the biggest surprise on this lifestyle is being on YouTube with not only with you guys, but also, you know, I'm actually going to change my career at the age of 60. I'm actually, you know, I thought that I was really going to be in construction for the rest of my working days. But now suddenly, literally, very impulsively, I find myself about to embark upon a new career in my 60s. Now, carnivore has given me the energy to do that. I wouldn't have had it before. There's no question about that. I was just waiting. I mean, when I was really waiting to die, to be perfectly honest. Not die, but I was trying to get a diagnosis from the NHS, the National Health Service, which would have put me into disability allowance. I am a war veteran from the first Gulf War, from Operation Desert Storm. And there is something called Gulf War syndrome out there, which is Gulf War illness. And I thought I might be a victim of that, but I wasn't. I was actually a victim of malnutrition because I was eating all the wrong stuff, which was, of course, the right stuff, according to them. So that was, yeah, maybe the biggest surprise is the energy, the fact that I'm now able to change my career, the fact that I'm now on a lot of YouTube channels, such as this one, as yourself. And the fact that I've also got the energy to, I have this kind of mission, this purpose in life now, which is to unify the community across the world. And I have friends now all over the world, dozens of friends, maybe even 100 friends. And yeah, community is absolutely vital, because it is you guys, my great friends out there, many of you whom are watching, Carl being one of them, who keep me motivated to not only to keep myself well, but to actually get out there and spread the word, and to bring people on board, and to have fun as well, because that's how we keep people interested. Steph and myself we're members of a little WhatsApp group, and we have a lot of fun on it, because we don't just talk about the science and we don't just talk about the health gains. We actually talk about our daily lives as well. You know, Steph was going to go shopping last couple of weeks ago now, and she said, anybody got any ideas? So I went onto Google and found some farm shops near her where she could go and buy some decent meat and some decent eggs. And she always thanks me for the dad jokes that I hang on to them as well. She says I make the best dad jokes in the world. So yeah, it's all about humor. It's all about helping each other. We talk about what we ate. We talk about the just shopping trips, or what are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to go to the beach. Not carnivore, but it's just interesting. And then we put photographs on about our daily lives. So yeah, we have community, and it's very, very important. So that is the reason why I am working alongside the people like yourself, Kerry Mann, Dr. Kiltz, who else? Dave Mack. I've done 4 Dave Macks. DC over in Australia. Yeah, we're all working together to try and inspire the carnivore community. Now, not everybody wants to get behind the microphone. Not everybody wants to be on camera. So we are kind of representing more than just ourselves when we're on here, because we are representing our friends who are a bit shy. I've got 1 or 2 very shy friends. but I am on here for them as much as I am on for me. And I'm on here for our future friends as well, because one of the most important things is that we do get the word out there and we actually get people interested. We get people having fun, and then they will come on board.
Yeah, totally. Well, I've got so many surprises because this goes against everything that we've been told for years and years and years. I think one of the surprise is just how detrimental many of the health interventions are to our actual health. How when you start taking pills, you get sicker and sicker. And we hear the stories of this on Dave Mack's No Carb Life and other people who tell their stories. But for me personally, I think one of the biggest things has been I went from a UK size 20 to a UK size 10. Some of it was before I went carnivore, but the difference with carnivore is that it feels easy. I don't feel like I'm walking a tightrope, and any moment I could slip right off and be back up, because I used to be a yo-yo dieter, and I think many of us have had that experience. Just for your American audience, so that's a UK size 16 to sorry, US size 16 to a US size 6. The other thing that surprised me is just how much you can eat, especially how much fat you can eat. And some of the people who come into our resets who've lost a lot of weight, in fact, the person who lost the most weight said double cream is her best friend. She can't remember a time when she was eating so much double cream. I know that that's not possible for everyone, but I think it is a surprise that calories are not it. You can lose weight, feel great, have that upgraded energy over 50 and beyond, all while eating what they said not to eat, i.e. they're telling us don't eat red meat, don't eat too much saturated fat, eat all the rest, eat the rainbow, and we're getting sicker and sicker. And then we try this and we get well.
Thank you.
Quick interruption here. Sorry, guys. My wife Lainey is sat next to me. She's saying she's having trouble hearing Steph. Could anybody else out there please let us know if you can
get closer to the computer?
Anybody out there?
I on my end, I hear her well, but
yeah, okay. It might be a problem with Lainey's device in that case. But
thank you for the feedback is good. Get anybody else give us feedback.
Yeah, if anybody's got else has got a problem, but no, it looks like it might be a one-off because nobody else is typing up.
All right, Steph, thank you for that. My biggest surprise, all right, I did this to lose weight. I lost the weight. All these other wonderful things happened that I could talk about, but I didn't expect my depression, my emotional health to change. I am never low or down or depressed. And for my whole life, I thought it was part of the ebb and flow of life. I'm always energetic and happy. I didn't realize I was on the insulin sugar roller coaster all my life. And now I have ketones in my brain. I am always happy. That is the greatest surprise. And like George said, the weight loss was the side effect. You get healthy first, and any part of the body that's not healthy, and a lot of times it's excess fat or anything else, that fixes itself eventually. It repairs itself because you got healthy. And so what I originally wanted to do, that happened, but this is better. Emotionally, and my confidence and my demeanor, everything connected to mental health surprised me that would be my number one. I think a few other people on Carnivore have said the same thing about emotional health. I have another question here, so let me, I'm trying, I don't know if we'll get through all these, so let's see. Here we go. From Life After 60 with Resting with Face. What do each of you eat on a regular day? Steph, we'll start with you.
Well, I love Resting Witch Face. I see your videos. I love how real you are, and I often binge watch. And I saw the one you did for George's granddaughter. I just wanted to say I loved it. Anyway, what do I eat on a regular day? So I'm one of those people who can eat the same thing, and I will buy and eat the same thing for maybe a week, a few weeks, and then I might change it up. So what I'm eating right now, which obviously can vary, is minced beef, a pork belly, and eggs. So I go to the supermarket, I buy those three things. I also get sparkling water. I've got tallow in my freezer and fridge to last for years, that I cook them in. And I then make minced beef. This is my sister, because whenever we're together and I tell this story, she will always pipe in and said, "Oh, who showed you that?" But it was minced beef, and they're like kebabs. So minced beef sausages, if you will. You cut them, and they're lovely. I cook them in the air fryer. So the minced beef sausages, I usually have 3 of those at breakfast. I'll do 3 eggs and put with it, and I'll do a slice of pork belly and put that with it. So it's quite a decent breakfast, or the first meal about 10, 11 o'clock, depending, could sometimes be a bit later. And I'll have a second meal depending whether I get hungry again. Some days I don't even feel hungry again. I don't eat after 7 p.m. And so some days the whole day will go past and I'll think, oh, I didn't eat. And I tell you, that would have surprised me. That would have shocked me before, because I really used to be uber focused on what I was going to eat next. And now sometimes I don't even think about food until way after, my kitchen closure, way after the time when I'm no longer eating. So over to you, George.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to say is hi, Dawn. Hello, big sister from California. Here's your little brother. We've known each other for, a few months now. And I'm not sure if you know this story, actually, John. I told it to Steph, how Dawn and I actually met. Never heard of Dawn, never heard of Wrestling Witch Face, but she put the word carnivore into one of her thumbnails. And it was, why do I hate carnivores? So things like, right, okay, we've obviously got a vegan troll coming on. So I went into that video like Jesse James walking into a saloon with a gun on my hip looking for a fight. I then discovered that Dawn actually doesn't hate carnivores. She was just very jealous of us because she could see how happy and healthy we were, and she wanted to become one of us. So there was no question of me picking a fight. I actually walked out of that saloon like Jesse James with Calamity Jane on my arm. Yeah, absolutely. I found a new sister, a new carnivore sister. And together we worked on Dawn becoming a carnivore, and she passed the 90-day boot camp, the 3 months, and she then very rapidly became a very strong carnivore influencer herself. She's very bravely taken the step to going back to ketovore, but she's very much, very much still part of our community. And she slightly changed the course of her channel, but it's become like a daily soap opera. It's like the Daily Dawn, I call it. And it is absolutely fabulous because she just covers so many subjects which are important to all of us, because she is living life after 60, which we will be very shortly, John. You might want to tell that story in a minute, actually. So that's my story of how I became best friends, if you like, with Dawn in California, my sister from across the pond. So to answer your question, Dawn, you know the answer to this already. This is a loaded question. Monday to Friday, I work in construction, and for convenience sake, and because I believe it to be healthier, I eat 2 raw steaks a day, 2 raw 10-ounce steaks a day, which is backed up by occasional things like salami and chorizo, which are kind of the processed charcuterie meats. I use them as a carnivore junk food filler, but I will have my 20 ounces of steak first. And then sometimes in the evening when I get home, my wife Lainey would have cooked off some minced beef, which I then have with eggs. This sounds like quite a lot, but bear in mind the fact that I've now lost 120 pounds since I started on this. And I've reached the point now where I have seen my 17-year-old weight again, let alone my 19-year-old weight. So do I really need to be worrying about how much I eat? My body is basically telling me eat, because it's trying to maintain where it was at the age of 17. I'm getting a lot of pushback from my regular friends, if you like, not my carnivore friends. They're saying that I am now skin and bones. I've overdone it, basically. However, having said that, even some of my carnivore friends are now telling me you don't want to be losing any more, George. So yeah, I eat more than your average carnivore. I didn't. I used to go through the fasting and the OMAD and everything else while I was healing, but I'm 3 years and 3 months into this journey now. And basically my body is now telling me that is where I should be, and it wants me to maintain. So yeah, two raw steaks a day, Anybody is shocked at that, then I can refer you to my future teacher, Dr. Kiltz, who is a great fan of eating raw because he believes that you actually damage the nutrients in the fat the minute you start applying heat to it. Yeah, and then I do have the carnivore junk food, which is my snacks, which is chorizo and salami. And then I have the minced beef and the eggs in the evening if I am still hungry. Sometimes I'm not, so I don't always have that. But that's my Monday to Friday routine. At the weekend, things are different because Lainey likes to cook. So we will have a prime joint of lamb or beef or something, which is cooked. I will also have eggs and bacon, possibly. It kind of changes up at the weekends. But yeah, that's basically my Monday to Friday, and then my weekend eating. Oh, today we went out for lunch at the Tudor Hotel, which is just up the road from us, and I had a 12-ounce sirloin. So that's a typical lunch out for me. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Dawn, and it's lovely to see you, by the way.
Great. All good stuff. Mine evolved. It changes. Currently, I'm experimenting with OMAD. I always did 2MAD. I'm starting OMAD actually today. I just did a 3-day fast. I haven't done a fast in over a year, and I slowly ended the fast and started with OMAD today. And my first meal will be tonight around 5 o'clock. It's going to be a bone-in ribeye. I try to have bone-in either beef or lamb, sometimes chicken, and I save the bones, put them in a bag in the freezer. And then I take my crock pot, and when the bags are full, I make 48 hours on slow with, electrolytes and salt in there, a little bit of vinegar to pull out the minerals from the bones. And it makes the most exquisite gelatinous bone broth, and the fat rises to the top. So I'll make a bone broth soup. So I put that as the base in the pot, and then I crack 4 eggs as the soup is almost boiling, and let the bone broth cook the eggs, add a little bit of salt. And sometimes I'll take some more leftover meat and cut the meat up and throw it in the bone broth. It is my favorite meal. All right. So I have bone broth soup that I create, have a lot of steaks, and then good old, like mincemeat, we call hamburger meat, ground beef. I have a lot of ground beef. And I do love my dairy, and I have to be careful with dairy because my body doesn't love it so much. So the best dairy for me, like as a dessert, would be Parmesan cheese, aged, little piece of cheese. Love it. Really smelly blue cheese. Oh, just tangy. Love it. To me, that's a dessert. So that's where my main meals are: beef, lamb, pork, some poultry. Fish, I'll do salmon, I'll do cod as long as it's wild caught. Shrimp, wild caught shrimp, I cut that. I put some bacon fat, cook the shrimp in the bacon fat. There's just so much in the carnivore way of eating. There's so many people have so many ways of making things. That's a whole live YouTube we could have on all the ways that we make food. And people listening to it love to hear this because they get ideas. I got a lot of ideas by listening to what other people do. I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. Let me try that. And I've added some of those routines to my routine. So that's my answer for that question. Let's look at some comments here. Life after 60 with which the carnivore community is the best. Absolutely. We're supportive. I love everybody. Nick Taylor, absolutely love this camaraderie of the carnivore community.
That's my sister.
Oh, it's your sister. Hey, Nikki. Great. And let's see, here's a question to tell three of us, similar to one of the other questions, but maybe we'll do it at a different angle. What's your biggest non-scale victory so far? And
Can I just jump in here, John, and say, sure. Hi, Alex. It's good of you to join us, because Alex was actually supposed to be on the panel tonight, but he succumbed to some sort of sore throat and lost his voice. So thanks very much for joining us anyway, Alex. Shall I carry on with the non-scale victory?
Yeah, you go first this time.
Probably the energy, as I think we've pretty much covered it already. The fact that I'm here and the fact that I've got the energy to be contemplating a change in lifestyle at the age of 60, which I think Alex can resonate with, because Alex is in fact 66 years of age, about to become 67, and he's just taken on a new contract as a swim coach. So when people should be sort of walking on a stick and in a wheelchair, then he's found the energy to do that. So yeah, it's definitely got the energy. Has to be the biggest non-scale victory. And as Alex knows, I'm not only taking on the role of this particular weekly role, not only taking on the Dr. Kilt's health coaching, but I'm also organising the Great British Meetup, which is the first proper social, if you like, in the UK. We do have the public health collaboration, which I think Steph's going to talk about shortly. We have had carnivore conferences, but we haven't had a party. So I was kind of waiting for somebody to invite me to a party. Somebody out there had to surely take responsibility, didn't they? But nobody did. So I suddenly found myself thinking, well, if nobody else is going to, it better be me, really, hadn't it? Because somebody has to come up with the ideas and put it into practice. I did have a template which I could work on. I've got a very great friend called Ashley, who is a farmer and a caterer, and he's got a big garden, very big garden. And he used to hold something called the Butley Ball every year in his garden. So I asked him, Ashley, if we were to do a carnivore meetup, could you do the catering? Could we use your front garden? He said, yeah, I'll do the catering, George. He said, but there's a much better location just down the road called Sourdown Farm, run by Lucy and her husband, Dave. That's much better. He said, much more suitable. So he put me in contact with Lucy, and that's going to be the location now. So yeah, I was very lucky and we are very lucky to have Ashley, who is very experienced at running parties like this, and also Lucy, who has a licensed premises, so it has a license to run things like this. So basically, I landed on my feet. I really, really did, and I've managed to recruit Alex, Lauren Tucker, Carl, and Sarah Wright, Healthy Carnivore UK, on the committee. Steph is not actually on the committee, but she is virtually a sort of spare committee member because she will be speaking at the Great British Meetup. And of course, the overarching non-committee member, but who is our guiding hand, is Ashley, because he's got many years of doing this. Ashley and myself have known each other for 30+ years. We played rugby against each other. He once broke my ribs on the rugby pitch, as only a friend can. And now we are also both involved together in the horse racing world. So we are very confident. You know, we've got this fabulous team around us, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. The Great British Meetup, August the 2nd, Sourdown Farm, near the town of Glastonbury. Yes, the Glastonbury. It's famous for the Glastonbury Festival. So if anybody wants to have any more interest in it, then there is an Eventbrite ticket site out there, which I will send to you, John, and perhaps when you actually put the playback of this, then we can put it into notes. Failing that, go on my Facebook. I think Stephanie's got it on Facebook as well. There are many, and the Primal Lifestyle. Carl is he's the one who's organised the behind the scenes stuff. I've been the upfront man, organising catering, the disco, and
wow.
the venue. Yeah, we're having a disco as well. This is not your average carnival conference where we're talking all day. We're only talking for the morning, then we're having lunch, and then we're having a social, then we're having a raffle, and then in the evening we're having a disco. So this is a party. It's not one of those all day long seminars.
Okay, good.
Well, Lainey said,
we don't hear you.
Tell George. Oh, sorry. Lainey,
the microphone stopped. No, you're totally muted. What's going on there?
I can hear you, Steph.
Oh, I'm muted. George, you talk.
I can hear Steph.
It's me. I have to go out and come back in. I'm not gonna stop this. I'll be right back. Everybody wait.
No, Steph, stay.
I have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Lainey said in the chat, tell George to be quiet for a minute so you can speak. Well, while it's just the two of us, that you do the best dad jokes.
Thank you.
That weren't a compliment, George.
It wasn't a compliment. Oh, I am mortified now. I really am. No. In that case, I shall hand that on to Dave Mack, who's also very proud of his dad jokes as well. So there we go. There was me thinking it was a compliment from my new friend, but never mind.
It was. I'm just jesting. What was the biggest non-scale victory? So yeah,
that was the one which Alex is asking.
Yeah, my biggest non-scale victory, I think, is getting diagnosed with cancer. I think you feel out of control, and obviously it's very emotional. But with the normal way of eating, the doctors say just eat what you like. You feel that there's nothing you can do. and obviously you feel like rubbish. And we know now through Dr. Thomas Seyfried and others, who was actually at the PHC conference, and I met him just a few weeks ago. With the carnivore diet, or even if people are doing a keto way of eating, you feel so much better as you go through those treatments, such as chemo. I feel more energy and vitality than I've had, even 10 years ago, even with the diagnosis and with the treatments, because of this way of eating, and also getting into some of the primal lifestyle hacks like grounding and sunlight, breathing, and that sort of thing as well, which go alongside. So I'll hand back to you then, John, for your non-scale victories.
Okay. What just happened? I lost sound and I went out and came back, and that's a technical issue that might happen. And I didn't end it. I just went out and came back in. So I wanted to share that when you guys do your live, just deal with the technical issues as they happen. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely, John. Can I just say that while you were away, teacher, Stephanie was bullying me in class. So there we go. You'll see that, and he will see that in the program.
I'm going to have to give you a detention, Stephanie. Or just a warning. I'll call your parent. Mine, real quick. There's so many non-skill victories. I shared the one, emotional health. Another one is I don't get sunburn anymore, because the seed oils have been out of my body for over 6 years. And that's one of the things that seed oils do, is they change your skin structure, make you more susceptible to cancer and sunburn. And I don't get that anymore. And just another big one would be my addiction. I am a sugar addict. Yeah. Hello, I'm John Laspina. I'm a sugar addict. Huge. And when that has been out of my system for so long, it rewired my brain. I'm not craving or thinking about just eating snacks at all anymore, because the answer is always no to sugar and carbs. And now that the chemical's out of my body's not looking for it anymore. Which brings us to the next question. If you guys can hold on, I'm just going to scroll down. That's why we do the QQQ, so we can find it. How to fight sugar craving. So let me start off on this one, since I was talking about it. Sugar cravings are going to happen, especially if you're a sugar addict like I am, at the beginning when you're first going carnivore or keto or low carb. You have to grin and bear it at the beginning. And I believe that knowledge is your fighting tool. Understand what it is and what it's doing to you, and what sugar damage does to your body when you have too much sugar, and push through the first couple of weeks, and the cravings go away for the rest of your life, as long as you don't indulge. That's my answer to that. That's how I deal with sugar cravings. Now, what some other people do is they wean off of sugar by the sugar substitutes, using allulose, using stevia or monk fruit. Those are the three least bad sugar substitutes. And so you're still getting that brain satisfaction, but you're not damaging your blood glucose. You're not making your blood glucose go so high, causing all the problems that sugar causes. But then I suggest weaning off of the sugar substitutes, because you're still craving that sweet taste. When I tried allulose and some of these other ones, it turns on my addiction switch again. And even though I wasn't high glucose, I started craving again. So for me, eventually, I suggest everybody even get the sugar substitutes out of your body. If you're using them for weaning, that's great. But then again, everybody's different. Some people can use them for the rest of their life and they don't have sugar cravings. So it's kind of different. Everybody's an individual. What works for me, it's not going to work for somebody else. So you have to find your path. But that's my answer for that question. How about you, George?
Yeah, I was probably slightly different, because I was very much addicted to the sweet taste of sugar when I was growing up. But sometimes you've actually just triggered a memory, because sometime quite a long time ago now, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes, and I went away and really got rid of all the sweet tasting sugars. And I did actually replace them with the diet sodas and all that sort of thing. But by the time I was actually diagnosed with diabetes, I wasn't really eating cakes or chocolate or anything, but I was eating sugars, but in the form of carbohydrates. And it was really when a nurse sat me down, a nurse called Kathy, and said, "What do you eat?" And I said, "Well, I don't eat sugar. I don't eat sweet stuff." I said, "I eat pasta. I eat potatoes. I eat rice. I eat noodles. I eat potato crisps. I eat all the good stuff. I eat lots of bread." I said, "Baked beans, eggs. I eat meat as well, of course, and that sort of thing." And she just looked at me and said, "All carbs are sugar." And I didn't. I said, "What? Even the savoury ones, the ones that don't even taste of sugar?" She said, "Yes, they're all sugar. They all turn to glucose in the bloodstream." And that was the key moment for me, really. So yeah, I didn't have the sweet sugar cravings, but I was very, very fond of all the McDonald's, all the takeaways, all the pizzas, and that was my downfall, if you like. But once I understood that, then I was very rapidly able to get rid of them and to concentrate on low carb. So yeah, it's I'm probably not the best person to ask, but yeah, I did go through the diet sodas and the replacement sugars and that sort of thing. But I'm so far down the line now that it's hard to believe that I actually went through that, to be perfectly honest with you. Anyway, over to you, Steph.
Yeah, this is something I can totally relate to. I think I'm more like you, John, in the fact of, yeah, definitely a sugar addict, and also have had that sort of subconscious where you're just eating and eating and eating, and you're so full and you feel so uncomfortable, and yet maybe you didn't take it to those extremes. I would leave my house late at night sometimes because I didn't have these things in my house, and go out and buy them just to get that hit. And sometimes the drive to do that felt so strong that I felt I couldn't settle until I had gone and gotten something. So for me, one of the non-scale victories is all that food noise went. When I first started on Carnivore, I couldn't believe how great I felt and how all of that had gone. I was no longer looking or craving. However, it can come back, but it's never as strong as what it was before. So when I find those times, maybe it's when you're down emotionally, or there's something going on in your life, or you're not on a normal, even keel. So when those stress points come in, sometimes those old habits will resurface, or you'll try something, only one, and you'll find it's not only one for you, and you go off the rails. And what I find helps in those moments is to get some accountability back in, to bring somebody in who's going to be able to help to support me through that. So, for example, with my sister, this happened, fairly recently within the last few weeks. I'd gone out to an event, had something at the event. They had some sweets in the goodie bags, which normally I wouldn't even think about. Then, because I'd had the sweets, I then decided to have the cupcakes that they had at the actual event itself. And that sent me off in a few days of things that my brain really remembered that it liked, that I haven't had for quite a while. So it was quite exciting. But to get off that, I then just said to Nikki, I need a bit of accountability here. And so we already had a daily WhatsApp. And so I started putting my accountability on there. Stayed on plan. And then I don't want to put did not stay on plan. I also said to her, please get me a CGM. That's going to help me to stay on plan for the next wee while. And so these are the things. So find out what works for you, what's going to help to keep you on plan accountability wise, and maybe get somebody else in who's going to help you with that.
Excellent advice. Thanks. Another question. This one looks like it might just be for me, but you guys can chime in if I get this other one off of there. There it goes. This is from Ann Gables. How long do you let bones cook for? Slow cooker or pressure cooker? And which do you use? And I'll go first on this one too, since I talked about bone broth. There's many ways to do it. And a lot of people swear by the pressure cooker. I don't use one. I have one. I don't like it because I don't like all the cleaning up and my pressure cooker has non-stick in it, and I don't want to use that. But I believe people only do it for an hour or two. in the pressure cooker. Or an Instapot. Like I said, I use a crock pot. I put it on low. I Googled a bunch of recipes and it said, the best is low and slow. 48 hours sounds like a long time. You just and I take it outside on my patio. It doesn't, all the odors in the house. I just plug it in and 48 hours. I put electrolytes in there. I put a little bit of vinegar to pull out, like a teaspoon of vinegar, pulls out apple cider vinegar and pulls out the minerals from the bones. And then I pour them into glass jars when it's done. After I pull it through a sieve, you can filter it as much as you want. And that's how I make mine. I tried like 12 hours on high. And I learned that when you do that, the higher the heat, the more histamine responses you get. And some people are very sensitive to that. You might get a stuffy nose or whatever. So I suggest if you're interested in making bone broth, get on good old YouTube University and check out tons of people's videos and see which one you like and try something. Change it up. That's how I did it. Anybody else have experience with the crock pot or with making bone broth?
Go on,
my
George.
wife Lainey has just left the room actually because she is the bone broth expert. She does it in the winter in our household, but she's not actually here now, so I'll pass on that one.
Okay, we'll get to her next time.
Yes.
Yeah, I do the bone broth and I do 48 hours as well.
Okay.
Very good. And I just wanted to shout out, Lady says, I'm with you on this journey. That's the cancer journey. So lots of love to you. I know you're doing well at the moment, which is great. And I think it was Anthony who said, I'm a meat addict. And I think we can all resonate with that as well.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, I should point out, actually, the lady, my wife, is actually a cancer sufferer herself.
Oh.
So she has definitely become great friends because of that. And it's, so Lainey has her own cancer journey. She's ketovore, quite strict ketovore, and she has bags of energy, even though that she's on a very long-term oral chemo twice a day and also bone infusions. So yeah, big shout out to my wife Lainey and her cancer struggle, and hence Steph and Lainey have become very close friends as well. So
and she just friended me on Facebook too, so I have both of my Facebook friends. Next question from Life After 60 with Resting Witch Face again. I'm worried I may be eating too much bacon. It's the main staple of my diet. I hear.
Fear. I guess I fear.
Oh, I fear. Okay. What are your thoughts on bacon? Because there's different angles on it. Is from an animal. It's pork. It's processed. What are your thoughts? You want to start with that, George?
Yeah, I mean, we'll go back to Dr. Ken Berry, who's the BBBE diet, which is beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And I think Dr. Kilt's is BBIS, which is bacon, eggs, beef, butter, ice cream. Dr. Kilt's ice cream and salt. So yeah, both of two of our greatest doctors both indicate that bacon is perfectly acceptable, very much part of the diet. Dr. Canberry says if you can't afford to go out and buy a ribeye every day or a sirloin every day, then go and eat what is it you guys call it, bologna over there. If you can only afford bologna, go and buy that, because that is better than eating anything that comes from a plant.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have any problem with bacon. I usually have it as one of those go-to foods, one of the snack foods alongside the chorizo and the salami, and I do eat quite a lot of it. But yeah, I prefer to eat ruminant if I possibly can, because I believe that to be healthier. But I would not worry about it, Dawn, because if you like it and it's meat, then go for it.
All right, before we finish, we go back. Your wife popped in here. I put bones in a huge pot on the stove with lots of water and extra beef dripping, and leaves cooking for hours. Delicious. Everybody does it differently. I can
vouch for that, definitely.
And let me go back up. Where was that question? There it is. All right. So go ahead, Steph. What are your thoughts on that with bacon?
Yeah, just obviously the bacon varies in qualities. Pork tends not to be as good because it's corn-fed as ruminant meat. So I think if you're happy with it, stick with it. But if you can add ruminant meat, I just feel so much better on red meat, the ruminant meats. But you'll have to see, is that the same for yourself? Is there some way you could incorporate some red meat to your bacon? Maybe you're already doing it. Over to you, John.
I agree 100%. And as Dr. Kim Berry says, and so many others, it's less bad, so much less bad than cereal and pizza and macaroni and cheese and all the crap that's out there, the ultra processed food. Bacon's absolutely delicious. And for people who are just starting, enjoy your bacon. Once you do this and you add more ruminant meat, just test your, notice your body. How do you feel on more bacon versus less bacon? And do a little test. And if you notice anything that you don't like, ease up on the bacon. That's my answer to that question. Some people can eat tons of it and they're fine. I do know that bacon has higher omega-6 fatty acids. If you're not eating enough ruminant meat, you don't want your level that high. But we won't go in that direction because I don't want to scare people off. Just go by how you feel. And it is so much less bad than ultra processed food. My God, I love bacon. I say I have jars of bacon grease in my refrigerator. I need to sell them on the corner like a lemonade stand. I have too much bacon grease. I don't know what to do with it all, but I use it to cook other things, to flavor things, and it's out of this world. I want to put this up there because look who popped in. Homestead Hal.
Oh, hello,
hey,
Gary.
Gary, thank you so much for showing up. He says, Rick, please do a live today. Good morning, Quacks. So he's talking about my friend in Miami, Rick, who is the duck man. You guys know him, right? And he does the live at, what is it? Live at 4, something like that. Live at 8.
Apparently Rick does a lot of very long lives, which is he's done that sort of up to 8 hours on a regular basis. But I mean, Rick is one of your regular guests on these sort of programs, I believe.
He says the
there he is, yeah.
Yeah, Rick. Love Rick. He's awesome. And so we're down at the bottom. We're also at the top of the hour here, and I need to go just about an hour so that I have to make a recording of this, and I don't want to make it too long. I'll send it to all of you. So before we leave, this has been fantastic, and the questions have been phenomenal. Our guests, fantastic. Tell us where we can find you on social media. George, you go first.
Okay, so I have a tiny channel, absolutely tiny. I am technically incompetent. But I am George Goodenough 823. However, that will change shortly because of what's happening with myself and Dr. Kiltz. I've got a desk coming on Tuesday. I bought a computer last week, and Carl Day at the Primal Lifestyle has volunteered to train me. So yeah, my channel will become more professional coming up. I'm also on Facebook, George Goodenough. Recently joined Facebook. That's me. Okay, over to Steph.
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube at Happy Sexy Health, and yeah, so do join us over there. We'd love to. And if you put your YouTube handle, I would love to subscribe to your channels as well. And anybody in the UK, remember, we would love to interview you on our channel. And Lainey, you asked about the t-shirt, so we will definitely send you a Happy Sexy Health t-shirt.
That's great. And I would love to be interviewed if you want to interview me.
I would love to
send me a message on there.
Thank you.
And I'm the Carnivore Teacher on YouTube and all the social media sites, so you can find me there. And this has been fantastic. Let's see, we have one more that popped up. People are saying
just one thing I can say, John. Is there one thing I can say here? And that's at the Great British Meetup. Anything that we make over and above cost will be going directly to Kerry at Healing Humanity as part of the documentary. We're also having a raffle. We got a few raffle prizes, but if anybody with channels out there wants to donate anything like merch and that sort of thing, then that as prizes, then please feel free to do so, because basically any proceeds that we make from the raffle will also be going straight to Kerry and the team at Healing Humanity. So thanks for letting me plug that one, John.
Absolutely. All right, this has been fantastic. Stay on, guys. I want to do a proper goodbye after I end the stream. Thank you for watching, everyone. Do your thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel and to George's channel and Stephanie's channel, and share the video. It goes a long way. You never know who can benefit from the information that they just heard in this video. We answered a lot of great questions. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.